Well, no matter where you drive in Western New York, you're sure to see a roadside memorial that friends or family members put up to remember a loved one. But while they are becoming more and more common, some communities are taking them down just as fast as they're going up. Joining us now is Anna Marie Sinatra to talk more about what's being done with these roadside memorials. And Anna Marie, we'll get it out of the way first, real quick, before we get to the roadside memorials. Is that you are third cousins with Frank Sinatra. So
yes, I am.
People would see the last name and they'd want to know that, so we'll get that out of the way first.
That's the most famous question all the time. And now I've got the website, so I'll just always leave you with a little bit of wondering and say, check out the website.
There you go, which is sinatrasolutions.com. And we'll get to that in a moment as well. But back to the roadside memorials, there are plenty of people affected by these memorials, both the people that put them up, their family members and their friends. What is being done specifically for these people? Before we get to communities taking them down, but what's being done for these people support group-wise?
Absolutely. When I live out in the South Town, so I'm often driving down Route 5 or Route 20 and caught your coverage, your news coverage about somebody making complaints and taking down all of the memorials, which I thought was absolutely absurd. So today we want to talk about how people are feeling about that. We want to reach out to the families of those who have loved ones who have died in car accidents. And we have a community forum that's coming up this week, and we'll be back on tomorrow. Talking more about this and finding out why they're doing this and what we can do to possibly create a change around it.
We do want to get people at home. We do want to get your input at 644-9840, so go ahead and give us a call if you have any stories. Is there any legislation as far as you talk about communities taking these down? Well, first of all, what's their reason for taking down these memorials?
From what I heard reported on the news was that they were distracting. So then I would have to ask then, what about the paid billboards with that have tons of words on them that, you know, your head is wrapped around your car trying to read them as you're driving by. And if we're going to take down little flowers and little crosses that are placed on the roadway, then we have to start asking about, what about our flags? Are they a distraction? What about the yellow ribbons that are around trees? Are those a distraction? Garage sale signs, houses for sale with a telephone number on them. It's impossible to get that telephone number as you're driving down the street. You have to slow down or stop or pull over. So we have to talk about what is the real issue, because I don't believe that them being a distraction is the real issue.
Well, it seems like a topic people would be very passionate about. We do have a couple callers on the line. Go ahead, please, with your question or comment.
Hi, I'd like to say that basically people that have memorials on the side of the road, that's pretty ridiculous for people to have, like, regular signs, like, with numbers to call, like, oh, you know, JJ's Roofing or whatever. And the thing is that basically that I think the memorials are a good idea because people are just reaching out and showing that they love these people and that they really do miss them.
Thanks so much for your call. It's a valid point that these memorials on the side of the road mean something to people, and it counters what you say about the billboards. You know, those are paid advertisements, but certainly a valid point that the caller brings up.
Absolutely. Even when I'm driving down the street, and if I'm maybe going a little bit faster than I should, I see one of those memorials, and it really touches my heart, and I stop and I think about, you know, what has occurred in that area. And then most recently, I was thinking about, you know, when there's road construction, we've seen them, and this was a big problem. They're trying to have people slow down during construction time, and they offered all kinds of signs. But the one sign that really got people, and I'll bet you'll remember it. It says, "Slow down, my mommy works here," yeah. Or "Slow down, my daddy works here." When you reach out to people on that emotional level, on that relationship level, that's when you're really gonna affect a change. Not, you know, fines doubled. People don't care if they're in a hurry. They're gonna fly down the street.
Well, and the other thing is that the memorial brings up, just like the billboards you talk about, slow down, my mommy or daddy works here, but the memorials also would tend to make you think maybe this is a dangerous spot of the road, maybe I should slow down here because the memorial's there, and it would make us tend to think about that. We do want to go ahead and take another call. Go ahead, please, caller, with your question or comment. Go ahead. Hi, welcome to Western New York Live. Go ahead, please.
What we need to realize is that these are living memorials that families need for healing. I know it's to draw attention to the fact that they lost a loved one there, and I know personally I have never lost anybody on the highway, and I thank the Lord for that. But as I do pass a memorial, it does make me more aware of my driving skills and to pay attention, because
Thanks.
I wouldn't want to be in that situation.
Thanks so much for your call. It's a great point. And the one point that the caller brings up that we hadn't brought up yet is the fact that the memorial helps the family heal. It really helps the family to get this done by the side of the road.
Absolutely, and that's what we want to put the appeal out today. I hope that families who are putting those memorials out will see this show today and tune in tomorrow, because tomorrow we have another person on who is going to help to facilitate with that healing process. We're going to be talking about a community forum that will be happening out in that area as well, and we would really appreciate having calls and people coming in for those people who are directly affected.
Certainly. Do you know of any legislation that's involved with this? I know communities have taken it down saying that there's distractions on the side of the road, but as far as the law goes, or is there anything in the works as far as the law goes, as far as legislating roadside memorials?
To my knowledge, there is no legislation, but I'm certainly not an expert on all of the New York State laws. My question would be that if you're going to pick out one particular area, and that would be, these memorials, and talking about a few flowers, on a tree post being a distraction, then we're going to have to take a look at the whole picture. You can't just single out one particular area.
All right, we do have another caller on the line. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, this is Chuck.
Go ahead, Chuck.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I was on my way to Seneca Bingo one time with a friend, and 2 people were killed behind me by a drunk driver, head-on collision, and it was very disturbing. It could have been me, because I got to the bingo. It happened 15 minutes after I got to the bingo, and every time I drive by there, there's a memorial, but I find it very upsetting. Like I said, it could have been me. They crossed over the line and hit them head-on, and I'll tell you, it's horrible. And I know what these people are feeling, and it's a bad thing to have a loss like that, but that could have been me. And I'll never forget that as long as I live. That's all I had to say.
Chuck, we appreciate your call. Thanks so much for sharing that with us. And Chuck brings up a great point, is that it really hits home when you look at these memorials on the side of the road. And certainly for Chuck, that's a personal story. It happened right behind him. And this is the kind of thing that we want to get into, and we do want to get into more tomorrow when you join us again tomorrow on the program.
We are continuing our discussion on roadside memorials from yesterday. No matter where you drive in Western New York, you are sure to see one that friends or family members put up to remember a loved one lost in a tragic accident. But while they are becoming more and more common, some communities are taking them down just as fast as they're being put up. Some people say they're distractions, and they would prefer to not have them along roadsides at all. Joining us now in our discussions from Sinatra Solutions is Anna Marie Sinatra and her associate Karen Kolerski. It's good to have both of you here.
Hi, it's great to be back.
You were here yesterday and you were talking about this, Anna Maria, and some people call them distractions, but they could actually be a distraction for the better. Would remind people maybe that they're driving too fast.
Absolutely. That's what I had said yesterday, that I live out in the South Town, so every time I drive by them, I always see them, and I always pause for a moment and reflect on what had happened there, and it helps me to always remember to slow down.
And Karen, there is a community forum coming up where residents can sound off on this, and there are going to be a lot of families who are going to want to have their turn to speak.
That's correct. That will be on Thursday at Unity Southtowns, and we will also be attending to their spiritual needs as well. And if they would like to release their grieving, and which is actually energy that needs to be released, and they need a place to be able to speak that.
And apart from grave sites, the roadside memorials often help in that grieving process. For somebody who's lost a loved one, they'd like to be able to visit that location where the tragedy, particularly if it was a very tragic accident, and help in the healing process.
Yes, absolutely. That's why I'm hoping that our voices will be heard, and people will be able to leave those memorials up. Because as it was reported, they were all taken down by, I'm not even sure who, saying that it was a distraction, but I'm hoping that as they keep putting them back up, that they'll allow them to do that.
We have a caller on the line. Hi, welcome to Western New York Live. You say they are distractions.
Hello.
Hi, go ahead.
Yes, they certainly are a distraction. I encountered them out of state a while back, and the first thing you'd go by them, you'd say, oh, I wonder how those people died there. I wonder what happened there. Were they drunk? Did they fall asleep? Blah, 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 blah. You know, my brother died on Route 20 several years ago, about 25 years ago or so. And I am thankful that there is not a memorial there, a bunch of flowers or whatever. Because every time I'd go by Uncle Joe's, I would think of my brother, and I want to remember him like he was. I don't want to think about the pain.
Can you understand that there are some people where that would help them in the process to see
There's
that?
other ways to deal with grief, and I think that they are a complete distraction, and I think that they have that they can cause accidents. And I'll admit myself, I'm distracted by them.
Right.
And I think that they, I mean, the way I look at it, if this isn't a cemetery, if you want to go, I go to my brother's grave at the cemetery.
Well,
grieve there.
right.
I just think that that is, you could have memorials
Right.
for
Well, we're
miles.
Well, we're sorry for your loss, but we sure appreciate your calling in today. We're going to go to another caller. Hi, welcome to Western New York Live. Go ahead with your comment.
Hi, I like to say hello to Miss Sinatra there. I met you on the town of Hamburg a few years back. I believe that they should be up.
Mm-hmm. What did you think about this caller before you's comments? What?
I think they're wrong. They're as much of a distraction as garage sales, political signs,
Right.
and everything else.
Billboards. Okay, thanks so much for your call.
One more.
Oh, gosh, we just lost her. But we do want to get to real quickly before our time runs out. We want to let them know about the community forum at Unity South Towns. Here's the information. It's Thursday, July 31st from 6 to 8, 2881 Southwestern Boulevard, 677-0001, and it is called a community forum, A Time for Healing. Similar to the calls that we just heard, this is an important opportunity for people to sound off like that, and we certainly apologize to that caller that we...
It absolutely is, and she made a wonderful point just to bring that home too, is where do we stop with saying what's a distraction? Is it the ribbons around trees,
Right.
all those different things?
Okay, it's your turn to sound off then.